All right, this one here is on here. 10-lap Pro Twin race, all in the 650 Pro Twin, so this is going to be good. The man on pole, SJ Cavell on the Eastworld Engineering, CD Vandermeer Builders, Suzuki. We've got the man inside him, Carl Hooper, race one winner from yesterday. And on the borrowed bike, have a bit of a spill on Friday. The borrowed bike, the KIP racing machine, that's Ben Rosendale's bike that he won the championship on 2 years ago and was top 3 on last year as well. So here we go with this one here. This is going to be 10 laps. Pro Twin, a good start from the 49 on the outside of the front row. We've got Jared Horne in the mix as well. So this one here, we've got 11 out on track at the moment, 650 Pro Twin Racing, and we are going to get a new champion this year. Nathan Jane not with us this year, defending champion. We've got Zach Fuller, he's gone up to Pro Twin Racing, and Ben Rosendale taking a bit of time off to build his house. So the top 3 from last year all not coming back. That leaves the field wide open, and it's SJ Cavell, number 41 machine, flying down the back straight at the moment. He's leading this one here, but look at them with the 3 wide braking for second place. Jared Horne's going to out-brake himself, going a bit deep. That's a bit of drama for him. We've got Alex Butts and Nick Southerwood. They're battling it out there, hammer and tong. So good racing here from these guys. And the Trevor Pearce Motorcycles Pro Twins, Trevor Pearce Yamaha, really nice shop there in Ferry Road in Christchurch, and the home of Yamaha in the Canterbury area. But right now we've got SJ Cavell out of the Christchurch Casino Carousel. Brilliant stuff from these Pro Twin guys. The 650 twin cylinder machines always get some great racing. They've got production tyre rules and other sort of rules to keep parity in the power and class of this racing. And it's great to have the Pro Twins. I call them the Pro Twins family because they all work together. They all swap parts with each other and help each other out on race day. You've got the man who won yesterday, won on a borrowed bike. So that just shows you how cool the Pro Twin family is. They all pit next to each other and make a bit of an atmosphere out of it. And we've got 11 out on track at the moment, ready for this 10-lap race 2 for the weekend. As we see this one here down the front straight, the number 41 Eastworld Engineering legend. He's a MNZ board member of Bridgestone Tours, all on board SJ Cavell. Let's hope he can carry on with this one here. 144 outlap, so he's flying. Nick Southerwood's led in second place, Horne Main. And then go back to Carl Hooper with Alex Butts and Jared Horne. Dropped back to 6 after outbreaking himself in the Euromark left-hander. Chris Burt, Elware, Angus Boyd, Josh Doblay rounding out our top 10. With Tim Green, a non-starter there, so hopefully everything's okay with Tim. As this one here, it's raging on for the battle for second place. There's 5 of them involved in it at the moment. As SJ Cavell, he's well in command of this one here. We've got another couple of battles in behind as well. This one here, 10-lapper, so Pro Twins get some feature-length race. They've got a Grand Prix up for grabs later on today, so that's always going to be good to watch to get a 10-lap Grand Prix race later on our program. The track temperature's definitely lifting. It's quite a warm, sunny day here in the Garden City in Mike Perry Motorsport Park. Look, an absolute treat. It's got full of green grass. We normally come here and it looks like something out of the Sahara in this part of the region, but we have had a lot of rain over the last month here in the Canterbury area. And the place looking tip-top. This is good racing here. 650 Pro Twins. SJ Cavell, the 41, he's in cruise control at the moment. Got a decent gap, about a 15-20 bike length advantage, but it is now the number 28. Carl Hooper's got himself up into second place and is after the race leader. So we'll keep an eye on these split times because I'd say this one's going to come down to it. It's a massive 10-lap race for these guys. And the battle for the podium is certainly going to be all on Horne Main, Alex Butts and Jared Horne, and Nick Southerwood. Some experienced campaigners in there with a bit of youth as well, coming down to the wire. So 2 laps down, SJ Cavell, 1:43.15, pretty much matched for pace by Carl Hooper. So keep an eye on that one. It's 2.334. That is the gap between first and second, but then there's less than a second covering from third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. It's Nick Southerwood ahead of Jared Horne, Horne Main, and Alex Butson. That's our little 4-way fight for third place. Good job from Carl Hooper. Managed to get himself through that tough train. He's now in a comfy second place, and he's flying down the back straight, braking hard into the Euromark left-hander. But that 4-way fight, that's red hot. So there's some definite experience here. Jared Horne's managed to get himself right to the head of that. He's on. Got Horne Main in there as well, Alex Butts and Nick Southerwood. So some experienced campaigners and some youth in there. Great to have Jared Horne. First trip to Ruapuna. And got a podium here yesterday, so he's loving that. And now finds himself right in the thick of this action here with this one here. 7.5 laps to go. Pro Twin Racing. Thank you to Trevor Pearce Motorcycles. He's been a long-time supporter of Motorcycling Canterbury. And and great to have his support on there. Passionate about all things motorbike. Look it up on www.tpyamaha.co.nz, tpyamaha.co.nz, or look him up at Ferry Road in Christchurch. A beautiful shop there, and certainly Canterbury's motorcycle destination store. This one here is the Pro Twins. We've got 10 lapper here. We've got another 10 lapper coming up later on for these guys. That's going to be the New Zealand Grand Prix title. Can't wait till we start handing out some titles. The first country in the world to be handing out domestic superbike racing championship trophies, and the Grand Prix is going to come alive. So we've got this one here. We've got a couple of races over this, and then we have a bit of a lunch break, and then get geared up for our big afternoon of racing. Great to have the crowd in as well. Big welcome to you guys. Great to have crowds at New Zealand motorcycling events. You look all over the world, and empty stadiums, it just doesn't quite feel the same, so we're very lucky, and it's great to have you on board here on a beautiful sunny day at Mike Perry Motorsport Park. Right now we're in the thick of this one here. It's a 10-lap Pro Twin race. SJ Cavell leads ahead of Carl Hooper, but Carl was the fastest man on track last time around. It was a 1:39.9. He was 4 tenths quicker than SJ, so he's got that gap down to just on 2 seconds. So look out for this one here. The man on the move is the man in second place. He's coming for SJ. SJ's got 6.5 laps to weather the storm. Carl Hooper, the man who won this race last year, he's on the borrowed bike and flying at the moment. The battle for the podium still with Jared Horne, but Nick Southerwood, Alex Button and Vaughan Main. That's the three-way fight there. They are hammer and tongs through the Fulton Hogan S's at the moment. It's great to watch these guys through there. We've got 10 guys still on the lead lap. We'll update you now on SJ Cavell. He's leading ahead of Carl Hooper, but it's only 2 seconds that gap, so it's coming down every lap. Jared Horne, Nick Southerwood, Alex Button, Vaughan Main. That's the battle you can see for the podium, right down to 6th place. We've got Chris Burt, Al Ware, and Angus Boyd. Angus, another local man here on the Suzuki SV Twin as well. And then we've got Josh Doblay rounding out our top 10. So the Pro Twin boys have spread themselves out along this Mike Perry Motorsport Park, looking an absolute treat. And SJ Cavell, we'll keep an eye on these times here, because I think that gap looks like it's come down even more on track. We're going to look down the front straight at the moment. SJ on the 41, the Butylene Oils machine. He crosses the line as a 1:39.9 and then a 1:39.4 for Carl Hooper, so takes half a second out of him. It's down to 1.6 now, so 1.6 seconds the gap, and he can see it. It's definitely coming down on the track as well. They're flying down the Liquid Molly straight at the moment, but the battle for the podium rages through turn number 1. It's a great corner on a Pro Twin machine. It's sort of a sweeping left-hander with a couple of apexes you got to hit. Jared Horne still doing a good job in 3rd place. Alex Button, Nick Southerwood and Vaughan Main, almost inseparable around the Icon corner at the moment. So this one here is looking good. SJ Cavell, Carl Hooper, but look at that. Carl definitely the fastest man on track at the moment. He was a 1:39.4. That's the fastest anyone's gone around here today on a Pro Twin machine. This one here, 6 laps to go, so a massive 10-lap race. These guys have got to use the same set of tyres the entire weekend, so that'll all come into play when we go 10-lap Grand Prix racing as well. If we get some more heat in that track, it could certainly come into play. These guys have got about 70 to 80 odd horsepower underneath them with these SV650 Suzukis, and certainly enough there to chew up a bit of a tyre over a hot weekend like we've got at the moment. So first SJ Cavell, but Carl Hooper, the man on a mission. He is in 2nd place, and he's got right up on the back of SJ. So the battle for the lead is now almost hammer and tongs. Around the turn 10 sweep, we've got Jared Horne, great job in 3rd place. He's sort of broken clear of those other guys as well, so he's got 3rd on his own, ahead of Alex Butson, who's trying to put a little bit of a squeeze on as well. Nick Southerwood and Vaughan Wayne fighting out for 5th and 6th. As we look down the front straight here at Mike Perry Motorsport Park, SJ Cavell leads ahead of Jared Horne. And Carl Hooper in 2nd place, so that one there, last time around, he was at 1:39.9 for Jared, at 1:40.5, so he's 6 tenths quicker. It's down to just a second, and you can see it on track. It's almost virtually not a lead anymore. It's almost a fight now, so 5 laps to go. We're at half race distance, and SJ Cavell on the Butylene Oils, Bridgestone Oil, CD Vandermeer Builders, Eastwell Engineering, Dyno Lamb Thing. He's flying. We've got Dan from Highway Tyres as chief mechanic this weekend, so pretty happy with that podium result yesterday, and looking to maximise this one here. Big shout out to SJ Cavell. He's also a Motorcycle New Zealand board member. Great to have our board members out on track. We've got Dennis Charlotte racing in the sidecars. We've got Rod Price, the chief mechanic at the Helicraft race team. And we've also got Scotty Wilkins. Big shout out to Scott Wilkins here as well. So 4 of our board members here. We've also got our president, Noel May. Big welcome to Noel in Motorcycle New Zealand, bringing us in some trying times, a brilliant NZSBK New Zealand Superbike Championship. It's coming alive Here at Mike Perrin Motorsport Park, we go in a week's time to Levels International Raceway in Timaru, so we can't wait for that one there. We always get great racing at Timaru, and this one here is going to come down to the wire as well. This one here, 5 laps in, 5 laps to go. SJ Cavell desperately holding off the fight from the man on a mission. He had some wins in the Suzuki International Series on post-classic machinery. He won the F3 race at the Cemetery Circuit as well, so a young man, just a teenager. Carl Hooper, but doing some wonderful things. He's got that gap to almost nothing in it at the moment. They're out of the turn 10 sweeper and flying down the front straight. Great job from Jared Horne. He's still sort of in touch with his front duo as well. So third place for Jared on that machine. So it's down to 7/10 of a second. So he only took a couple of tenths that time around. It's down to 0.7. 4 laps to go, though. This is going to be a big 4 laps for SJ Cavell. It's 1 point to be quicker than someone else, but you've still got to make the pass in these 650 Pro Twin machinery. You've got to hold your corner speed and be very accurate because they don't have the horsepower to drive out of the corners. You've got to be really good with your passing manoeuvres. So this one here is about to come to a head. It's that beautiful looking blue and yellow Puline Oils machine out in front. And look at that one climb right on the back wheel. Carl, certainly business on the Benno Rosendale KIP former New Zealand winning machine. He's going to find himself right in the thick of it through Fulton Hogan. We've still got 4 laps to go in this one, that battle for the lead. This one is one of those commentators ones you build it up and it's about to come alive. Carl Hooper, the fastest man on track. He's a 1:39.484 that was back a couple of laps ago and consistently lapping in the 1:39. So that's the dream when you've got to use the same tyre all weekend to get yourself in a groove and settle into a rhythm. Don't outbrake yourself. No aggressive accelerating and lighten up that back wheel. Great years ahead of his time. Riding performance at the moment from the number 28 machine. It's a borrowed bike too, so he had a crash on his machine on Friday, jumped on that one there. He's already won a race already this weekend and now finding himself in 2nd place. So the battle for the lead is 1 and 2. We've still got Jared Horne there in 3rd place. He's done a great job. He's got a 2.5 second gap back to Alex Butson, so really has broken free in that podium fight. And we go to Alex Butson. He's in 4th place, 4 meters up now into 5th ahead of Nick Southerwood. Chris Burt still in 7th place at Al Weir. Good to have Al, one of the, I'd say, godfathers of Pro Twin racing. He's one of the real legends of this one here. He's on the 22 machine. Back in 8th place, we've got Angus Boyd and Josh Dobley there, 9th and 10th. And this one here is still about 0.5 of a second, so he only took less than a tenth out of him that lap around. So a good response here from SJ Cavell, who just locked the fastest lap of the race for him. It's a 1:39.7, so he was just a little bit slower than Carl Hooper, but certainly finding pace when he needs to. And 3 laps to go. It's all on here. Trevor Pearce Motorcycles Pro Twin Thriller. We've got a 10-lapper coming up for them later on as well. They're going to have a fight for the New Zealand Grand Prix. I can't wait to start handing those out. Always something extra. Normally, it'd just be a standard old 3rd and final race of the weekend, but these ones are extra special, the New Zealand Grand Prix titles. So that one there coming up after our lunch break. We've got Supersport 600s and Supersport 300s still to come on our program for their 2nd race of the weekend. And then we go for a bit of a lunch break and come back firing with our New Zealand Grand Prix titles. The first country in the world to give away New Zealand titles. And it's certainly on here. We've got Carl Hooper now right on the back wheel of SJ Cavell, so we can't keep our eyes off this one. Out of the sweeper they go, and this is brilliant stuff from these guys. Our Trevor Pearce Motorcycles Pro Twin Racing. Thank you to all our sponsors this weekend. We can't do it without them. And have a look at this one here. We're going to have 2 laps to go. Almost nothing. It's down to 0.2 of a second. We've got a new fastest lap of the race. 1:39.334. So that's brilliant. Bailey Perrin's lap record from 1:37.9. It's we're a little way off that at the moment, but great pace from these guys. SJ just responded with the fastest lap of his race, but it was 3/10 slower than Carl. So look at this one here. As we see them, they're down into the icon corner, and it has swapped around, so the move has been done. It's now a new race leader. Carl Hooper has just reeled him in slowly but surely, and with 2 laps to go, pulls the trigger, and we've got a new race leader. So Carl Hooper takes over the lead of this one. SJ Cavell has little answer at the moment. Talking to SJ, this morning, and he said he's feeling really good. He's nice and fit and healthy, looking forward to the championship. He's on the Bridgestone tyre, so he said he'll come alive at the end of the weekend when these guys burn their ones off, so that's all he can hope for at the moment, because he's lost the lead. It's now with Carl Hooper. SJ settling into second place. Jared Horne still in third place, quite a comfy third now as well, so this could be online for back-to-back podiums if you can bring this home in the last lap and a half. We've got Alex Butson, good fourth place finish on the cards for him. Vaughan Main, Nick Southerwood, that battle's been raging on the entire race, and it's still going at the moment. Now we're Chris Burt, Angus Boyd and Josh Doblay. That's our 10 runners out there in our brilliant Trevor Pearce Motorcycles Pro Twin event here. We've got around out of the final corner here at Mike Pero Motorsport Park. It's a beautiful place and a nice sunny day here in the Garden City. The white flag ready and waiting, so white flag out, 1 lap to go across the line for the final time. Race number 2 for the weekend, and another fastest lap of the race, so just getting quicker and quicker, and he's stretched it. He's already got a 0.5 of a second advantage, so Carl Hooper, this has been quite a statement he's made so far out of turn number 1. SJ got half a second to try and make something happen here on the final lap of this 10-lapper, and just seems to have no answer at the moment. Carl Hooper, just absolutely brilliant pace at the moment. Race one in emphatic style. Had to do it hard this time around, reeled SJ in and got the move done. And now we've got Carl Hooper ahead of SJ Cavell. Jared Horne still the one in third place, and he has a 3.8 second gap back to Alex Butson, and fourth Vaughan Main, Nick Southerwood. Man, that's been a cool little battle as well. Fifth and sixth, Al Ware, Chris Burt, Angus Boyd, and Joshua Doblay. That one there. Our 10 runners still here in our Pro Twin race 2 for the weekend, and we are on the final lap. Our leaders coming down the front straight, going into the Southern Salvage S's. And look at SJ, just managed to sneak back a little bit of that gap, but it's going to be a big move from here. It's a 5 bike length advantage to Carl Hooper through the Aon Dipper. Come out of there. Nice and tidy job. It's a pretty good performance from Carl Hooper. Set fastest lap after fastest lap, and just got quicker and quicker as the race went on. SJ Cavell is coming around the final corner at the moment, but it is just not quite close enough. It's going to be the number 28. He's going to go back-to-back and win the second race of the Pro Twins for this weekend. It's Carl Hooper gets his name on that one there. SJ Cavell is going to finish second, only by 0.6 of a second, but SJ's got that trick up his sleeve. He's got the harder compound tyre, so he's hoping to come alive at the end of the weekend. But still lapping in the 139, so certainly these boys are on pace at the moment. Jared Horne, another podium, back-to-back podiums on his first visit to Ruapuna, so he'll be loving that. Alex Butson gets through for 4th place. We go to Vaughan Main in 5th place as well. Some pretty good results there. Alex Butson, Vaughan Main, that's 4th and 5th. We've got Nick Southerwood ahead of Al Ware, and then we go back to Chris Burt, Angus Boyd, Josh Doblay. That's our top 10, so some good battles still raging on, so these positions are not done for at all. As we see this one here, going to feel pretty good for Carl Hooper. He's logged the win, 2 from 2 so far, and odds-on favourite to take out that Grand Prix title when we go racing later on this afternoon with the Pro Twins. And thank you to Trevor Pearce Motorcycles. There we go. So Al Ware just gets it home ahead of Chris Burt. That's 7th and 8th across the line. And out of the final corner, looks to be Angus Boyd's going to hang on to that one there. So Angus Boyd for 9th, and Josh is going to grab 10th place. So some pretty good championship points there as we rage on with that one there. Your podium shapes up with Carl Hooper on top, SJ Cavell and Jared Horne. Repeat podium from yesterday. And looking like this one's going to come down to a pretty good Grand Prix later on, all on the Suzuki SV650 machinery. We're going to cross down to Neil, who will have our Trevor Pearce Motorcycles Pro Twins podium, Carl Hooper, SJ and Jared Horne.
Yes, indeed. Just before we get our bikes down here, an opportunity to catch up with our President of Motorcycling New Zealand, Noel May. Noel had got up early yesterday morning, drove from Timaru to Christchurch, addressed the riders at Riders Briefing, explained where we've come from in the last 9 months of what this country's been through as a whole and what the world's been blasted with. Here we are, Noel. Man, the crowd's on the embankment, the people are here, the competitors are here. You've got to have the biggest smile on your face of anybody, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. This is the lucky country, isn't it? We really are it. Better do. Everyone's in, they're having a great time, terrific racing, and you know the weather's put on here in Canterbury. It's just a wonderful event, and it's great to be back and doing it. It's you know, we are very privileged over here in New Zealand to be doing what we're doing in this COVID situation.
All right, hey, let's look at some other things, positives that Scott Wilkins was pointing out before. New members to Motorcycle New Zealand increased by 25%. That's a great coup.
It is. It just shows that when we've come out of the lockdown period, the people that stepped up and looked at our sport and wanted to get into it, and there's a bit of money staying in New Zealand now, so it's worked really well for us and a positive. It's just wonderful.
Awesome. Thank you indeed, Noel May, President of Motorcycling New Zealand. So great to have him as a volunteer in our sport with us today. Thank you, Noel, for that indeed. Look at this for a podium. The boys, in fact, are a repeat of that, of what they did yesterday. These Pro Twins, just an amazing motorcycle. Really do love what they have to offer in our sport. Pity we didn't have Chris or others on the MTs that we've had as well over the past few years, but taking nothing away from Suzuki. They're a beautiful motorcycle, but love the Pro Twins, the sound of them, the performance of them. It's a great stepping stone, really, between any of those smaller classes, 150, 250, 300s. Go to the 650, actually, before you go to the 600. Sounds a little odd, but in fact, because they're a twin compared to triples and multis, not quite the power of the big bike, so a nice interim step as we go racing. Well, Jared, repeat performance. You're standing back in the same pace. You owned this real estate yesterday. How's it on the racetrack?
Yeah, I got a pretty rubbish start today, and it was just too much hard work trying to catch up to these guys, so I thought I'd just sit in the same spot again and just conserve tyres and just save the energy for the 12 lapper. Yeah, I'm pretty knackered. But yeah, huge thanks to Lee at Kip Racing. He's set the bike up amazingly. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be on the podium, you know. He's just been an absolute legend. Thanks to my other sponsors, YSS, Pirelli, RST, AGV, BRM Dyno, Pyro. Yeah, without those guys, it's be a lot harder. It's awesome.
Well done, Jared. Jared Horne with us, a newcomer, which is great to see. Well, SJ, yesterday we were looking for the excuses, and here you are back here. You had it, and then you lost it.
Yeah, mate. Hey, look, that's the way it goes. I got a good start and put my head down, and I was watching on the pit board, and you could see that Carl, I knew someone was coming, and I guessed it would have been Carl, so credit to him. He's done a massive job this weekend, especially the challenges he's faced on Friday with his practice and his bike engine and stuff. So, hey, good on him. He's riding really well, and but we've got 12 laps in the heat this afternoon, and I'm feeling pretty good, Neil.
All right, hey, tracks like next weekend to go to levels, a little bit tighter, more of a workers track. I think you'll be back on an advantage there, won't you?
Yeah, I love Timaru. It's probably my favourite track, and I'm really confident down there, so looking to be standing there all next weekend, Neil.
Good work, SJ. Loving it, loving it. Well, here he is, the superstar, and Carl to join us. Well done. Look at that smile. That's much better. Carl Hooper, a star through the Suzuki Series, riding in Post Classics and also in Formula 3. Now the step to Pro Twins. Loving this bike, Carl?
Oh, this bike's amazing, you know. Got off to a shocking start. You know, had to pass Vaughan and Nick. You know, credit to them. They got flyers of starts, and I could see SJ was going, and he started pulling a bit of a lead, and then I just worked away at him, and I saw there was a few issues on the gear changes going down the front straight, so I caught up quite a bit towards the end there, and you know, I was only going to ever make a safe move because I wasn't going to risk crashing, so put a move on him and just managed it from there. But now really enjoying these Pirelli tyres, you know. Look forward to the challenge this afternoon. SJ seems pretty confident, and so he should be, you know, but I'm looking forward to the challenge and yeah, to bring it in race 3.
Yeah, it will be great. Hey, from a young 18-year-old from Taupo, you've got a few days to spend in between here in the South Island. What are some of the things you might be thinking of doing this week?
Oh, actually, I've got to fly back up to Taupo and go back to work, so I can pay to be racing. So so we're flying back up on Monday morning and then back down Thursday morning. So yeah, up to work.
Well done. Well, somebody's got to do it. Tell us about the line of work you're involved with.
I work at Rotor and Wing Maintenance. It's my grandparents' business. It's like helicopter maintenance.
Okay.
So I work out there. I do a whole lot of things, from helping out on the helicopters and some design work on the computer. So yeah, good fun.
Great work. Nice for a young fella. Well done. Well, there you are, folks, our stars, and starting to tell us a little bit about who they are and what they do for their other life. Because of course we're all having fun with motorcycle sport. Proudly brought to us in conjunction with Pirelli Aon Insurance, and we love it. It's Sky Sport Next, coming at you all around the world. This is the 2021 New Zealand Superbike Road Racing. Bring it on.